Hi there, if you've seen the primitive pottery video I did which covered the day I did with Paul Smith, you'll know why I made this rather childish dog poo. If not, keep watching. The reason I made this is because I took some what I thought was clay for Paul to have a look at. It wasn't quite up to snuff, but I thought, well, I'm not going to waste it because it's this sort of brown colour, and yes, very childish, I made a dog poo out of it. So what I decided to do was to get some of the soil that I took to Paul and see just how much clay there was in there by processing it. So I've just popped it on the kitchen scales to see how much we've got here. It's just a smidge over 400 grams. I thought it'd be quite useful to know when we finally get the results at the end with the clay, hopefully, just how much of it was non-clay. I mean, obviously for the start there's quite a few twigs and whatever in there that'll obviously come out of the weight, and also the large bits of grit and stuff as well. So I've cut down a 5 litre water bottle here from the supermarket. Just going to pop the clay in there. And then what I'm going to do is add just off the boil water from the kettle. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 litres or so going in here. So that's that done. And then what I'm going to do for the next few minutes is just agitate this. And what you want is all those little particles floating in solution to make it the most unedifying smoothie ever. Then once I've finished this, I'll leave it to settle for a few hours and then we'll sieve it. And this is it settling after about a quarter of an hour. You can see the distinct line already. Okay, so that's the filtering done. It took about 2 or 3 goes to get all the mud out of the bottle. You don't have to let it settle, but I thought it was just good for the viewing. That's all the crud, that's all the detritus and organic matter and larger bits that we just want out. So what we're going to do now is put that through an old pillowcase and just let it have a drip, and then that should leave us behind the clay. So right, I'm going to pour this in, and then once we've done that we'll string it up and just let it have a little soak away. You can feel the bits here are so much finer. There we go, and then we'll pick that up and we'll tie it up on the clothesline. There we go, I've just hoisted the bag up on the washing line, and it's just going to drip there for quite a while. Depends how thick the pillowcase is, how thick the mud is, blah blah blah. But I'll probably leave this overnight, get on with some other things, and then come back to it in the morning. I've had half a day drying, and this is the water. There's still quite a lot of fine sediment in there, so what I might do is try and drain that water off and see if I can dry that by air. I did try putting it through a coffee filter while the big one was dripping, but it didn't seem to capture it, so I'll have a little experiment with that. But let's go and see what's in the bag. Let's just take a little bit out. That leaves quite a smooth line on there, so I think we've got a bit of a success here. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I still think that's going to make a good pot or something similar. What I'll do, I'll scrape this all off the pillowcase and we'll just give it a final weigh and see how much we've got left from that 400 grams. What I've actually done is added that fine sediment, once I've drained it, actually into this, because I think the wind had actually dried it rather more than I initially thought. But you can see that actually makes quite a decent line through there with no puckering or cracks or anything. So that, I think, is genuinely now the usable clay that I've got from this little project. Okay, so let's put that on and tear it. So that's the weight off, just pop that on. Wow, that's about half the mass that it was before.